Popular person in this space this morning. You know that sticker I gave you? It's corresponding to the group you're going to be in this morning. And if you change your sticker around, we're going to know, okay? So just flow with it. There's a reason why we randomly gave out stickers. So I'm going to give you one action to do, and love me, hate me for doing it, okay? All right. If you are wearing a purple sticker, come and sit at this table right here. Go ahead and move. If you are wearing a lime green sticker, come and sit right here. If you're wearing a light pink sticker, come and sit right here. One's like a magenta, that's why I say light pink. The other's like a lighter pink, right here. If you're wearing an aqua, almost like Miami Dolphins color, come and sit right here. If you're wearing that's the light pink, yeah. If you're wearing the more like the fuchsia, darker pink right here. If you're wearing Campbell orange, come and sit right here. If you're wearing the dark green, come and sit right here. That's light green, that's a light green. If you're wearing Duke blue, sit right here. Whoa, look at y'all, whoa. Do you have a sticker? Oh, okay. Yours is blue. Yours is yellow. Yellow right here, yellow right here. And finally, that Carolina Hurricanes red, come and sit right here. That second round of the playoffs red right there. All right, if you missed it, purple, light green, light pink, aqua, dark pink, orange. You are very much, you're not orange. Red over there. Dark green right here. Duke blue, Duke blue. All right, y'all don't be cheating now. You're yellow, you're yellow. All right, yellow right here. That one is this table right here. And then red over here. All right. I promise there is a method to the madness in the random color you have. We want as much diversity at our tables as possible. So that's why I gave you all random colors, okay? All right. Assignment number 2. 99.9% of you accomplished assignment 1 this morning. You get a sticker. Congratulations. You all did great. I need one representative from each table to count the number of people at your table. Go ahead and do that. Okay? And then I need you to come and get one pen or marker and one set of stickers. It doesn't matter the color. There's 2 stickers on a sheet for each person at your table, okay? One writing utensil and one set of stickers, 2 per set, at this table right here, okay? One person from the table, come and get that. It doesn't matter the color. Yeah, the color doesn't matter. You just need one set per person at your table. New people coming in. Hey. I got a sticker color to give you. This is very important. Can you personally go to that table right there with those handsome-looking people right there, that table right there, and I'm going to give you this color. This one, where's my Miami Dolphins aqua table? Back over there, if you'll go to that one. Hello. You are light pink has plenty. If you'll go to this table right here, right up front. There's no song and dance routine, don't worry. And if you will go to, will you also go to that table over there on the far side in the middle? Thank you. All right, a couple of your tables have some newcomers, so you might want to make sure you get stickers that are the same, or writing utensils and other stuff. All right. Everybody got a writing utensil? Everybody got sticker things? Okay? Perfect. Do you remember where you were when the COVID-19 pandemic became a reality in your life? I can tell you exactly where I was. I was in Washington, D.C., in a meeting with my state representative. Now, at the time, we took 4 years, and we were living in Louisiana for 4 years. I was pastoring a church right off the campus of LSU. Don't worry, I'm not an LSU fan. Roll Tide. So I'm meeting with my state representative, and I was there as part of an initiative to talk to him about how Louisiana ranks first and not in a good category. We rank dead last in the United States when it comes to education and upward mobility and environmental degradation and all kinds of things. And as a pastor, I was urging him to consider that to love his neighbor as himself, he needed to consider if there was policies and procedures to help benefit the people of his state to improve their lives. Okay, that's what I was doing there that day. And then the stay-at-home issue was ordered, and everyone and their mom was leaving Washington, D.C. to try to fly home. It was a crazy time to be there. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic really represents so much of what's been going on in many of our churches for decades. Namely, that many of us, without realizing it, have closed our doors and isolated ourselves off from the world around us. Many churches aren't connected with their greater communities. More importantly, many churches aren't connected with the people inside the building. We get into this routine of we come into Sunday school, we go to our particular Sunday school class, we know those people, we have our assigned seat in worship. Nobody calls it assigned, but if you sit in my seat, woo, there's some looks given. I accidentally did that recently when I was visiting one of our partner churches. I sat down in this lady's seat, and she let me know it. But her face was super red when I got to preach that morning, so it was great. But for many of us, we don't realize that we've closed ourselves off, and for us, we see the world is changing around us so rapidly, and it's very uncomfortable for a lot of us. Change has a fascinating reaction within our body. Our body responds to the unknown and uncertainty with a traditional response called the fight, flight, or freeze response. You ever heard of this before? Our body, because it no longer has to protect itself against the Tyrannosaurus Rex or Velociraptor or some major predator trying to kill us, when change happens in our life, our body responds to the same way it would against a perceived threat, which means our body floods with all sorts of anxiety, and all of us respond with anxiety differently. And that's just one of the many ways in which we are all responding to things happening around us within the church. And I preached about it this morning. If you weren't here this morning, you'll hear the same sermon in the late service. So if you liked it the first time, come the second time. We'll give it to you for free. Within the church, we have a diversity of ways that we all see the world. You might be thinking, well, we're all Baptist. We're all Christians. We all live in Lexington, North Carolina. Nay. You all believe and see the world differently. You all have different ways of processing information. You all have this thing called unconscious bias. My favorite bias is the I don't have a bias. I'm not biased. Yes, you are. I am too. We all handle conflict differently. We all handle the way we communicate differently. We have different personality types. We have different life experiences. We have different ways of viewing things in the world. I've spent the last 3 years doing doctoral research essentially on organizational psychology. How do we understand how we all tick and move and what motivates us in order to help the church benefit as a result of better understanding? And so all these differences tend to create these spaces between us, these gaps that oftentimes leads us to cause friction, lead us to not trust people, lead us to not grow as a church, and more importantly, we're seeing this more often than not, people leave one church to go to another. And then they can't figure out why that conflict followed them there. Well, it's obviously got to be that church. It can't be me, right? And so we're going to do a little bit of a social experiment this morning to help you begin to understand that you have more in common than you think. And there's a reason why I asked you to randomize yourself and sit at a table with people you maybe don't necessarily know. And the hope is that you're going to get to know some people this morning. Because one of the biggest gaps that exist within our churches are generational gaps. And so hopefully we have some young people at each of our tables. Hopefully we have a diversity of ages at each tables. And so this is going to be super difficult, okay? I'm going to give you a couple assignments. It's going to be really tough. Your mind is going to explode at the end of this session this morning. You will leave this space saying, I can't learn anything else today. God, remember the prayer of Jabez? It's going to be, God, expand my brain. That's going to be your prayer today, okay? So here's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to think about for just a second, if I were to give you $1 million and say, I'm going to pay you $1 million to teach a class on something you love, something that you feel like you're an expert in, something you have a lot of knowledge about, something you feel like you really enjoy. So, for example, I would love to teach a class on hiking and exploring the outdoors. On Tuesday, I'm leaving to get on a plane with my family. We're flying to the Pacific Northwest for my graduation, for my doctoral program. We're going to spend 2 weeks hiking the mountains, and I've got it all charted out. I could teach a class on that. I could also teach you a class on the fact that since I was born, I didn't have a choice on this, but my father went to the University of Alabama, and we have won 18 national titles. Thank you. I could teach a class on that. Maybe you could teach a class on underwater basket weaving. I don't know what it is. But here's what I want you to do. Take about 30 seconds and think about, if I could pay you $1 million, what would you love to teach a class on? Now, here's the trick. You are not allowed to give a churchy answer. You are not allowed to give a churchy answer. Got a new person. Perfect timing. We all just confessed our deepest, darkest sins. We're going to let you go next. Yeah. All right. You're not allowed to give a churchy answer. So you cannot put, I'd love to teach a class on the book of Genesis. I'd love to teach everybody how to sing in the choir. You're not allowed to do anything like that, okay? Think beyond your identity to other people in this space as a church member here, okay? 30 seconds, think about it. Go ahead. Y'all do a lot of thinking out loud. Think to yourself, silently. Think. I just realized we're live streaming Sunday school, and I'm moving around like a crazy person. Good luck with the camera, keeping me in frame. All right, now here's what I want you to do. Take that one thing you'd love to teach a class on and write it on one of your stickers. Don't unpeel your sticker. Just write it on one of your stickers, okay? If you need more stickers, if you already goofed on the assignment, we will not give you an F or an S for unsatisfactory, but just come get you another sticker over here. But it'll cost you $50 for the next set, okay? All right, everybody got their thing written down? I'm seeing a lot of pens not moving, a lot of markers sitting there. Write your thing down. You might have picked the very best color of marker that we have in our set. A yellow on hot pink. That's going to go over real well. All right, take about 30 seconds to write it down. All right, now here's what I want you to do. Each person at your table has about 20 seconds to tell everybody else about the thing they'd love to teach a class on and why. Go ahead. Each person take a turn. It won't write? Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. Man. These light colored ones don't work. Sorry. Am I doing good? All right, make sure you listen in what's being shared. There will be a test afterwards. Make sure you're listening to each person. These variety pack stickers give you the... All right. Can I get one representative from each table? You're just going to stand up and, to the best of your memory, tell me about what people love at your table. We're going to start right here. I'm not going to pick the person. But somebody stand up and with a loud voice. She took notes, by the way. Yes. Yes. Jesus did say, may the children lead us and guide us. So go ahead. You might have to repeat that again, see if it's working. Just scream into the microphone really loud. We'll see if it's working. I'm just kidding.
So the first person said gardener, and then another one said basketball coach, another one said dance, another one said cooking, and the last one said waitress.
Awesome. All right, do me a favor. Take the stickers and put them under the section of teach, okay? Since you're a teacher, make sure they're organized because we get a lot of people to put up there. All right, next, who's going to tell us about this table? Ooh, they were pointing at you. We've got a hesitant leader here.
Okay, two of us like to cook and bake. One likes to build antique cars. One likes to socialize with the neighbors. Another one likes to deer hunt. One likes to crop farm. And one is just a master of everything. He couldn't decide what he wanted to do.
All right, somebody from your table go put the stickers under the teach section up there. All right, who's going to do it for us here? All right.
Okay, we've got one that would love to teach things about basketball. We've got one that would love to teach about being an electrician and electrical work. We've got one that would like to teach about baking. We've got one that would like to teach about farming, one visiting other people and communicating with them. We've got one that didn't tell us anything, and we've got one that would like to teach about the value of agriculture and food production to create stability in the world. So,
Oh, wow. That's impressive. All right, somebody in your group go put the stickers up there for everybody. The one class that is a mystery. It's a marketing scheme to draw you in. All right, who at this table? All right.
All right, so we had one scuba diving, one woodworking, Disney, football, basketball, art, and then decluttering your home.
Decluttering the home. Baseball? Very important distinction. Very important. All right, if somebody can here go put the stickers up there. All right, this table here.
All right, we had how to have how to have good. What was it again? Better relationships with your patients, geography, weather, chickens, and this person said, "Keep your million."
Say that again.
He said exactly. He said, "Keep your $1 million." He's a teacher, and it's in May, and he's done teaching for a while.
Oh. Keep your million.
Keep your $1 million. Like if the $1 million you was gonna give him, he said you can keep it.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, now everybody knows who they need to borrow money from in the church. This guy right here. All right, stick your stickers up there for us.
You said to move over here.
All right.
Hi, in this table over here, we talked about volleyball, teaching how to be a good dad, bass fishing, camping, a class on addiction and how it affects all people around them, and my favorite one, eating. I thought he was going to say dieting. He said, no, eating.
Yeah.
I class on eating.
All right. This table here, everybody's reluctant. All right.
Okay. We had babysitting, bird dogs, drug and alcohol prevention, right? Hanging out with kids, farming, and more farming. What specific farming, right? No-till farming, and mine was math and organization because I'm super anal. That's my superpower.
Fun fact, my least favorite subject in school, math. All right, you gonna do it? You think you got this? All right. Your favorite thing to teach class on is organization.
So one we got drive cars safely, and then we got cooking,
Uh-huh.
and we got old timely cooking.
Old-timely cooking. Can we get a clarification on what that means? Old-timely cooking?
Old timey.
Old-timey. Okay.
And health.
They just stick together. Here, I'll hold them for you. Teaching how to
Buy a Lamborghini.
Oh, wow. Is that your card?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Tell you what, we take your $1 million. You take him to the car store. All right. Looks like soccer.
Soccer.
And old-timey cooking again. I want to know what that means. And then
Medical.
Medical? Just everything medical? Oh, medical insurance. Okay. All right. I think we got them.
Okay.
All right. You want to stick them on up there for me? I'll take that. And then this is, remember, bring that one back. Okay? All right. This table here, you just got volunteered and you just gave him a look. Woo! The dynamics at that table are dicey.
So we've got several. We've got one for mowing, one for coaching, quick meals, children, cooking for large groups, and what was that? Healthy eating, non-toxic. It was about that long. We needed a paper.
All right.
And travel.
And travel.
Oh, you did too.
All right. We've done this table. Y'all, skip y'all. We got Edward Scissorhands over here with her stickers.
So at our table, we had writing cards, being organized, bacon, good working ethics.
Baking or bacon?
Bacon.
Both good things, but I just wanted to clarify.
Working with hydrangeas and becoming friends with strangers.
Interesting. All right, if you stick those on up there. Thinking back of old-timely cooking, have y'all seen that most recent marketing scheme where the ancient grains oatmeal they've seen? It's like, it's like they found them in a cave somewhere, these ancient grains. All right, what's something that you have learned so far about your congregation? You like to eat, I know. About time too. I keep visiting these churches in the eastern part of the state, and they keep trying to tell me it's barbecue, and it's not. But y'all know how to eat in this part of the state, yeah. Okay. What else? What else have you learned? Say what? Unity and diversity. Yeah. Okay. What else have you learned so far? Anything surprise you? Besides having somebody that's a millionaire and another person that wants to buy a Lamborghini? Oh, yeah? All right. All right, next round. This is super tough. I don't want you to have to admit this, but you may or may not know everything. If price was not an object and you could take a class on anything, what would that class be? Something you would love to learn about. I don't know how to do this, or I'm not very good at this. I'd like to learn, or I would want to. If price is not an object, what would you want to learn a class on, okay? Take about 30 seconds, think about it, then write it down on your other sticky note, okay? If you want to take a class on something, anything, what do you want to learn more about? Again, no churchy answers. No churchy answers. We all love Jesus here. We know that. Yeah, there's no monetary limitation, no physical limitation. You want to go skydiving, but you probably shouldn't? Write it down. All right, if you haven't already, start sharing with your table. Each person take a turn and talk about what you want to learn. You know everything. We need to hang out sometime.
I think, we need to learn how to use other people's money and go on trips like Georgia.
Yeah. You look like you've written a novel there. All right. Yes.
And your grandmother and your mother's grandmother and all those made it.
Okay.
Made it for you.
You know, homecomings and potlucks at churches are both wonderful. There's two sides of that coin for ministers. It's amazing to see people to get together, but it also means we're always at the back of the line, which means there's no food left. I never get deviled eggs, nothing. Yeah. Yes, it's the cross I will bear. So, all right, y'all got yours written down? All right, take about 30 more seconds if you haven't shared. All right. Here we go. We're going to go reverse. My table back here that went last, we're going to be biblical. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So y'all go ahead. Tell us what you don't know but want to know.
I have to work at Disney, to learn about gardening, flowers, travel, to Israel, writing, knowing more about nature, pottery.
Awesome. Good to know y'all don't know everything. I looked at this table and actually thought y'all knew everything. Whew. All right. Close. All right, go stick it up on the board there for me. This table here. It's not working. Here, use that one.
We'll use this one. Couple here, advanced sewing class. Fly to lots of different countries. Sign language. All languages. Swimming. And Robin wants to be a diesel mechanic now.
Interesting. There you go. Y'all go stick them up there for me.
Our table wants to learn more about learning how to play musical instruments, specifically piano and guitar, but also crocheting. Erin wants to know how to make sushi, but she also wants to learn how to sing. Miss Megan wants to learn more about crime scene investigation.
Interesting.
Calling you out. Learning more about how to fix tractors and car maintenance, and mine was travel.
Interesting. All right. This table here, you got volunteered? Voluntold.
Skiing in Switzerland, learning how to be a veterinarian, painting landscapes and portraits, being a pilot, astronomy, and a machinist.
Remind me not to fly with a person wanting to learn to be a pilot. So. Stick those up there. You got it this time?
My group wants to learn more about artificial intelligence, the best places to travel, how to buy a Lamborghini, knitting, learning to fly a jet, retirement, and marine biology.
Interesting. You can combine your loves of underwater basket weaving with marine biology. All right, this table here. Oh, we got another fly a plane.
Let's see, another language, dancing, flying a plane, sewing, offshore fishing, and gardening.
Perfect. Offshore fishing this last year, all I caught was toadfish. They're the ugliest fish. You don't want to eat them, and they're mean as fire. That was my offshore fishing this year. Y'all next? Maybe? All right, y'all go ahead.
Our first one was play the piano, construction, organization skills, volleyball, engineering, and swimming.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. This table here, I know y'all know everything, so I know y'all struggled. The man in blue.
We got how to fly a fighter jet, be a florist, computer programming, a healthy diet and healing naturally, flying, traveling abroad, and welding or electrical.
Got a lot of flying. All right, this table back here, down here at the end.
Okay, we got one that wants to learn how to operate heavy equipment, how to play musical instruments, how to build relationships, wants to learn more about technology, wants to learn how to operate a computer, and we got one special person that doesn't have a cell phone. He wants to learn how to use a cell phone.
I think there's a few people in this room that could probably help you with that. You the sharer again?
I guess.
All right.
Upside down so I can read it. It's really nice. Thank you. We have one who's interested in agriculture technology, learning to quilt, learn how to fly an airplane, art, lawnmower mechanic, government, and more mechanics.
More mechanics. All right. All right, we'll give them a chance to put this up here. Let's do something really difficult. Let's think about combining what we have learned and what we said we could teach a class on. What were some of the commonalities that you see or points of connection between these two? We can just shout them out. We had a lot of people interested in flying. Y'all don't like to keep your feet on the ground. What else? Saw some traveling, gardening, cooking. Say that again. How to buy a Ferrari? Yeah. Sports. There's a lot of mechanical stuff. Got a lot of right brain people in here. We need you in this world. Some musical instruments, okay. How to be a millionaire? Talk to this guy afterwards. How to buy a millionaire? Yeah. This just went dark. All right, other points of connection. Yeah, languages, okay. Relationships. We know of one or two individuals that both know everything and can teach everything, so knowledge is a common thing. Yeah, gardening and agriculture. I already put gardening and ag. Okay. Help. Health. I thought you were calling for help. I was like, for what? What do you need? Blink twice if you need help. Health. Bacon. That somebody likes bacon. Okay. What's something you've learned so far about your church today? I would twist it to say unique. Unique. There's some unique people here. What else? Diversified. I thought you said we will survive, and I was like, but yeah, we will survive. If the apocalypse hits, I'm coming to this church to get some of y'all. Somebody knows how to rebuild some heavy machinery. Okay? Lofty goals? Yeah. You know it.
A lot of the things we want to teach somebody in the church wants to learn.
Yeah. I mean, if we were to go through this and say, hey, we need a class on technology and how to use a smartphone. How many of you here think you could teach that class? Go ahead and raise your hand. Okay. All right. Or if I said, hey, we want to offer a class on how to bake, not to be confused with bacon, if we want to bake something, how many think you could teach a class on baking something? Okay. Oh, man, just got called out. So there's points of connection. There's diversity here, okay? What else are you learning about your congregation? You also have some similarities, right? The fascinating thing is they look at the human species is we tribalize, meaning we get together with like interest and like-minded people. That can be a good thing. It can be a good thing, right? Where we gather around common values, common ideas, common things. Now, it also can be a negative thing, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But that's a very similar thing, okay? Yes, yes. Age is it's just a thought. It's just a human construct. Okay? All right. What do you do with this? Now that you've learned a little bit about, what would you say you could do with this? You put it on a board like this, yeah? What do you think you can do with this? Set goals? Okay, take that a little deeper. What goals do you think you could set? A lot? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Others would connect people together? Yeah. Yeah, what if y'all said, this Sunday night we're going to have a class on, well, I wouldn't pick offshore fishing because we'd have a problem with that here. We said a class on gardening. You know, how do you do that? And what would happen if you had people show up and learn about it? Or what if you said we're going to get together and learn about car mechanics? Why not? All right? So there's points of connection that are there. What else? What else can you do with this? Sorry, my ears, it was literally at a right ear and left ear, two people at the same time. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a reciprocal relationship. There's things to give and things to take and learn, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we could, if we're thinking about ministry to the community,
Mm-hmm.
why not go out and hold classes in different places? I mean, offer that to as a ministry.
Yeah, so there's both a relational component. You're seeing ways that you can connect with each other, but then there's also a missional component, right? We have often thought of missions at times as we have to do a service to someone else. And so we think missions is only helping poor and underprivileged people. But you look at the New Testament, that's not all missions was. Sometimes missions was bringing people together around a meal. How many times did Jesus have a meal with somebody? All the time. Jesus liked to eat. He liked old-timey cooking. Different kind of old-timey cooking than what you're used to here in Lexington. But no, I mean, think about it. Jesus ate meals with all the uppity-up people that were perfect and loved God, right? No. Jesus ate meals with the self-righteous religious people. He ate meals with the tax collectors, public enemy number one. He even ate a meal with prostitutes. And what was the purpose of the meal? To be the presence of God to people. And he told stories and shared life with people. That's missions, that's ministry. So there are opportunities here. Y'all are a microcosm of your community. You are just a small sampling of what the interests are in your community. And what would it look like if you facilitated opportunities in the community? Or more importantly, sometimes we as the church think we have to create something when we can just go do something that other people are doing. You enjoy fitness? Go join a fitness class together as a group. Be the presence of Christ there. You know somebody who's teaching class on technology? Go and show up and learn and be the presence of Christ there. You know the presence of Christ is going to be at a flying school because everybody's praying to God that that plane comes down the right way. My next question is, how do you feel right now? We've taken 30 minutes, and I've asked you 2 questions. How do you feel right now? Relaxed? Okay. How do you feel? Enlightened? Okay. Feeling community? Let's take that a little deeper. What makes you feel like you're in community with others? Yeah. There's a sense of safety and community. So sociologists define community in 2 ways. They say we feel a sense of belonging. We can be who we are. We feel that we can trust the people around us, that we feel loved. And also we have a sense of ownership. We have something we can give and bring to that community of people. You've done that. You've both vulnerably shared who you are and what you're interested in, hoping the table around you didn't say, "You're a weirdo," or "What?" There's a sense of safety that's there. How do you feel right now? Anybody else? Sense of acceptance. Okay. Now I'm going to ask a difficult question. Why do we not let this happen in the church? Pause and settle on it for just a second. I talked about that oftentimes we have what's called relational gaps. I've named some of those before. Conflict management style, belief systems, conscious and unconscious bias, personality types. These are all different things that tend to close our relational door off to other people. But we also have the opportunity to open that door to other people. So let's name some of the reasons that we as a church sometimes close the door off from finding shared interest, finding safety, feeling diverse connections. Let's name some of those things.
Well, is it sometimes that we always focus on the things that were different, even though the things that were alike is much more greater, but the things that are different are so small, and then that one little difference closes the door.
I'm going to focus on the wrong things. Yeah. I named one before. Generations. Generations is a human construct, but generations is an attempt for us to name what different generations experienced in their lifetime. And those experiences shape different sets of viewing the world and viewing our neighbor, how we relate to others, all differently. I'm going to probably say something very unpopular. No generation is better than the other. Now, we did tell one generation they are the greatest generation. We also call them the silent generation, too. But each generation was dealt the cards they were dealt. They had the experiences they had to experience. My grandparents were born and raised in the Great Depression. They had a different set of experiences that I had. When my pawpaw passed away and we were going through their house, we would open up drawers full of like toothbrushes and dental floss. He was never going to use any of it, but he was scared to death he wouldn't ever had it if he needed it. And so he kept it because he knew what it was like to live in poverty. He knew what it was like to live in a farm right up the road from here. Every generation is different. And sometimes we let our generational gaps in the church create tension. The number one question I get asked to train churches on is how to reach young people. And then I train the church on how to reach young people, and young people start coming to the church, and all of a sudden the church says, whoa, we wanted young people here, but we didn't want them here. We didn't want their opinions. We didn't want the fact that young people want to be involved in leadership and have a say-so what's happening in the church. Generational gaps. What else? What are other things that? Vulnerable? Yeah. We don't like to be vulnerable. We want to be perceived as we have it all together. That's why most people, when they're posting pictures online, they make sure they look good in that picture. Because nobody wants to post a picture of them looking terrible that day. Candy. There's theological things that divide us. We're Baptist. You know what Baptists have in common? We don't like other Baptists. Seriously. There's over 1,000 different denominations of being Baptist. You know how Southern Baptists got started way back when? We don't want to like to talk about it. We all were American Baptist. Do you know how the Southern Baptist Convention got started? I was raised Southern Baptist. Slavery. We didn't want the convention telling us that we couldn't own slaves. And so a group of churches said, we'll start our own convention. And then you all are both a Southern Baptist and a cooperative Baptist church. Over 30 years ago, there was a group of churches that said, we believe in the local autonomy of the church. That's right. And then Cooperative Baptists formed out of the Southern Baptist Convention. And there's we Baptists, there's theological things that cause us to have tension. And we create more systems of beliefs and more statements that everybody has to sign. And yet what stood the test of time of what united all Christians together for nearly 1,600 years was a simple statement that you can memorize, most of us to this day. It's called the Apostles' Creed. And then all of a sudden we started adding all these other things. So theology divides us. I'm going to say that very unpopular P word. Politics is dividing us. We're being told right now that you have to believe a certain thing and you got to fit in a certain camp and you can't trust the people who aren't serving in that camp. And we have a confirmation feed that we see over and over again through whatever cable news outlet we watch, in which our worldview is getting shaped by what they want us to know and what they want us to believe. Did you know that the average churchgoer is more likely to spend time watching cable news than actually reading the Bible in a given week? That's not a fun fact from Andy that I just made up. That is a statistical fact. We are watching more political news today than we actually spend developing our faith every single day. So therefore, do we have any wonder why our churches are divided? Why the littlest thing will set people off? Politics. It's creating this division between us. Last time I checked, Jesus invites us to follow Jesus first, not political parties first. And we have it the other way around. You know the old saying, what happens when you combine religion and politics? You know what you get? Politics. What else divides us? What else closes the door off from each other? I want to put the past. And I want to mean this in a couple ways. Number one, we have a past and we have a history with each other. How many people have been a member of this church for more than 10 years? Keep your hand raised. 20 years? 30 years? 40 years? 50 years? 60 years? Surely not 70 years. 80 years? My Lord. 90 years? You're not over 90. You look good. You need to come teach a class on how to age well. But for the people who have been here for even a couple years, you can tell us that there is a past, right? There's people here that aren't here anymore, aren't there? There's people that if I had given you a sticker and you had walked to that table and saw that person with that same sticker, you would have changed your sticker color. I don't know any of your business here at Jersey Baptist Church, but I do know churches. We have a past together, and our past divides us. Wounds run deep. We don't forget things. But then we also have this thing called the past in which we remember way back when. And way back when was the heyday, right? We look at the past through rose-colored lenses, and we forget that life was equally complicated back then as it is now. Sometimes we just weren't aware of it because we didn't have to deal with it, because of our station of life, because of if we were serving in leadership or not. You read pastoral letters from 50 years ago, man, those people had it tough. The past is a barrier. And then we could sit here, we got worship in 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to wrap this things up. We could sit here for the next hour and talk about all the things that cause us to close the relational door off to each other. But Christ calls us to become one. No excuses. Jesus, in the hours before he's about to be arrested, this is captured in John chapter 14 through John chapter 17. There's a series of prayers from Jesus. And you know one of the things he prayed for before he was arrested? The unity of his followers. You think Jesus didn't know our tendency to try to find ways to divide us? Again, I said in my sermon earlier, 2/3 of the New Testament is a response to conflict within the church. We have a conscious choice to make of whether or not we close the door off to other people. These things give us every reason to close the doors off to each other, but there are also opportunities to open up the door to each other. What would it look like if we were okay recognizing that we all don't see politics and policy the same way? We all didn't vote the same way. Could that not be something we could celebrate in our world today? What would it look like if Jersey Baptist Church was a church that said, you know what, instead of drawing lines in the sand of 10-page documents of what you have to believe theologically, what if we said, you know what, we're going to have a diversity of beliefs here and we're going to be okay with that? What if we said, we realize that there's generational gaps here, and instead of allowing those things to fumble all over us and we become a church of just older people or just a church of younger people, we sit here and we try to take time to learn each other and learn what makes us different and celebrate those differences. You have more in common than you have different. And the role of the church is to be that safe space for all of us, in which we can be ourselves, learning about how we're becoming more like Christ and loving each other along the way. And it's difficult work. It is. But I invite you into it. I appreciate your participation this morning. I'm going to leave this up for Paul, for your ministry staff, and for y'all to take some time to dig into it. Hopefully you found some things today that you can have in common. And I challenge you to find another person today that maybe you didn't know they had an interest in something and start building connections there, okay? For those not going into worship, blessings on your week. For those going into worship, let's go honor God together.